NDT, RSR, booster ignition, SNA, arm, and rotation enable is complete.
And I copy. Thank you.
Okay, so there you heard the poll from Launch Director
Early.
getting ready to get that new T0 time. The poll that you heard was the NASA Test Director's poll. And
Hey.
All right, and we have verified no cutouts at this time. And all personnel, we are going to resume the clock. GLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
Yeah, let's light this puppy, baby. If we don't do it, we're gonna let's do this. I was so mad.
2, 1.
All right, all right.
Mainline has been initiated.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Minus 10 minutes and counting.
we are T-minus 10 minutes away from liftoff of
Hello,
Artemis
get
1.
lost.
As you can see, the clock is now moving. Let's put that up. T-minus 9 minutes and 47 seconds. The L-minus
Alright,
15
it's
poll
fine.
complete.
Show
They went
06,
Everybody scrambling?
44 is the new liftoff time.
Affirm.
Oh my God, are we really doing this? We're really gonna light this thing.
01:47:44, 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time and 44 seconds.
I really didn't think we were gonna do this. I really thought I raced the other one. Everybody, there was only like a couple people.
We
in
went
there, but
straight
you know what?
into terminal count. Liftoff now 9 minutes away.
We are actually
So
doing
terminal
this,
count.
people.
Control has been given over to the GLS,
Oh
the
my
ground
God.
launch sequencer, a computer and software that is doing all of the commanding and monitoring of the Space Launch System.
We're going back to the moon since the 1970s.
We'll hear callouts from the GLS operator, Alex Pandalos. As well as NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding. GLS is pre-tensioning the umbilicals at this very moment. You can see them as they run down the rocket. That's getting them ready to detach. At liftoff, those arms will swing away, will let go of the rocket in a clockwise direction. T-minus 8 minutes and counting. The GLS is performing up to 100 commands per second, including configuring ground systems for power transfer to the rocket. GLS is turning on cameras, recording video inside and outside the crew module to collect data for engineers. Purging the aft skirt booster with high flow nitrogen. Clear out any hydrogen gas that may be there.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Jeez Louise, like how much?
You can see the crew access arm is already retracted. When there is crew during Artemis 2, it would happen at T-minus 6 minutes. But out of abundance of caution, they went ahead and retracted the arm well ahead of liftoff. Want to point your attention to the base of the mobile launcher. If something wasn't done to reduce the power from the pressure caused by the rocket's ignition and thunderous sound, it could damage the rocket. So the ignition overpressure and sound suppression system will flood the mobile launcher with water. You'll see that sequence start
Still
at
surprised
T-minus 17
right now.
seconds.
There's nobody on Twitch streaming this or even talking about it or anything. Just amazing.
Now coming up in
like
less than 30
nobody
seconds,
cares.
the ground launch sequencer will start.
Maybe they don't
bringing
want to
the
watch
high
with me.
energy
Maybe they just
systems
want
online,
to watch it. It's amazing.
starting with core stage pressurization.
All right, here we go. Almost 5 minutes into it. This is the next stage of our evolutionary travel to planets. Pretty
Fire
exciting.
Room 1 is completely silent as they listen for the next call.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
The core stage tank is now pressuring pressurizing to flight levels. The replenish valve to the liquid hydrogen tank now closing. The liquid oxygen tank will come a little later. Now we're arming the Orion ascent pyros and transfer to internal power.
There you go. Transfer over.
The launch abort system, or LAS jettison motor, is now armed. On this flight, the abort motor is inactive because there is no crew on board. Up next is the flight termination system, or FTS, which gives the Space Force the ability to destruct the rocket if it goes in the wrong direction. Let's listen in for that.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
The flight termination system is now armed.
Here we go.
Coming up at 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh my God, I can't. I really
This is what
cannot
the
believe we're
RS-25
actually going to do
engines
this.
And their bleed go to high flow. It's been a little tricky
Gonna
to
chill
dial
the
in.
engines. So when does the burner
GLS
go
is
away?
go for LH2 high flow bleed check.
Oh my God, here we go. 4.5 minutes. We are going to make history here. I'm getting goosebumps. Seriously, I'm getting goosebumps here. I'm
word, we
seriously
passed that.
getting goosebumps.
The cryo team
Cannot
got
believe
the
we're gonna watch
LH2
this.
engine bleed pressure loop
Cannot believe I'm gonna
dialed
watch
in.
this.
They are now at the right temperature for launch. Countdown continues. T-minus 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Up next, GLS fires up the KPUs. Those are high-speed turbines which provide pressure to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25s. Stands for Core Stage
We
Auxiliary
are
Power Unit Start.
seriously going to launch this
GLS
thing,
is
hopefully.
go for core stage APU start.
Okay. Well, welcome to
That
Star
now
Trek.
leads to the thrust vector control test.
I'm gonna turn
at
this off. I'm
T-minus
just gonna
2
let.
minutes and 30 seconds. That can proceed now, and we will see the engines gimbal at the bottom of the core stage. At T-minus 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you will hear the go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve, getting the air and moisture out.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
And in just a few seconds, GLS will close the core stage LOX vent, liquid oxygen. The white vapor cloud caused from the super cold gaseous oxygen condensing the water in the atmosphere will disappear. You see it coming out there now. And there it goes, it's closed. LOX vent closed, pressure rising in the core stage LOX tank to flight levels. Coming up in 15 seconds, look for that thrust vector control actuator test. Engines will gimbal. And there they go. The 4 core stage RS-25 engines gimbaling around, testing the ability to steer the rocket into space. They will operate at 109% performance. Each RS-25 throwing down 500,000 pounds of thrust. All 4, 2 million pounds. All together with the boosters, 8.8 million pounds of thrust.
GLS is go for upper stage to
8.8
internal
million
Now
pounds
the
of
upper stage has gone
thrust.
to internal power.
Okay, here we
So
go.
power is removed
Less than 2
from the
minutes.
rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery power. The same milestone is coming up for the core stage at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
The rocket's core stage, which houses the 3 flight computers, is now on battery power. So there is no more hold time available because there's no more margin on the batteries. So if we have a hold, we'd have to recycle back to T-minus 10 minutes and recharge those batteries. The count continues. A note now, shortly after liftoff,
1 minute.
shortly after liftoff, Mission Control Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague, Leah Cheshire, will take over commentary. T-minus 50 seconds and counting. Coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, the GLS will hand off control to the ALS. This is the autonomous launch sequencer. On board the rocket, it will take over command and control of the rocket. But the ALS will check, make sure
Okay.
there's no holds
35.
coming from the ground.
Let's do this.
Up until T-minus
Light
12.
this puppy.
Go for ALS.
And we are go for ALS. The Space Launch System is
I'm gonna shut up and
now
watch this.
counting down to liftoff of Orion on its maiden voyage to the moon. Launch team can no
20.
longer recycle the count. Sound suppressor water now flowing
15.
under the ML. And here we go.
10,
Hydrogen burn-off igniters initiated. 7, 6, 5. 4-stage engine start.
Like that
3,
puppy, let's
2,
go!
1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
All 4 RS-25 engines on the core stage and 2 solid rocket boosters now propelling the vehicle at 128 miles per hour.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, get up there, let's go.
Hearing good control on the roll from teams in Mission Control Houston. All good calls so far. Now
Hell
30
yeah.
seconds into the flight of Artemis 1.
Man, I was just there feeling that.
First milestone will be for the vehicle to pass through max Q at about 1 minute and 9 seconds into launch. This is the greatest period of atmospheric force.
What's up, yo, man? I'm watching this. Dude, this is so exciting, Thunder. Seriously, it's so exciting, man. What's up, yo? Hey, man, thanks for coming in, man. I'm
As it is
beyond
now
myself
traveling
at this point, man.
607 miles per hour.
Hey, yo, fucking work. Hey. Hell yeah, bro.
You're looking at 8.8 million pounds of
Coming your way.
Just quiet here in the loops in Mission Control. The 4 core stage engines are throttling down ahead of passing through max Q.
Max Q, okay. Here we go, right? So we get past Max Q, we're good, right? Dude, I've never seen one. Dude, I'm gonna shut up and just let's watch this, right? I'm gonna shut up.
Now 1 minute, 21 seconds into the flight, traveling at 1,420 miles per hour. The 4 core stage engines are back at maximum thrust. The next major milestone will be for the solid rocket boosters to cut off and jettison at about 2 minutes and 11 seconds into the flight, so about 30 seconds from now. Again, quiet here in Mission Control Houston as teams continue monitoring the flight of Artemis 1. We're now 16 miles downrange from the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center, traveling over 2,800 miles per hour. Standing by for solid rocket booster jettison and shortly thereafter.
Okay. The only thing I have to say,
Confirmation that the solid rocket boosters
Cheers.
have separated these 177-foot
we're
boosters.
going there, right? We have
Now
been
the
there, so
core stage
cheers for that.
continues to power the flight of Orion, all 4 RS-25 engines firing, traveling over 3,400 miles per hour, 46 miles down
God
range.
bless, man. God bless our next step, right? So let's see.
2 minutes and 36 seconds into the flight. Hearing nominal calls here in Mission Control Houston. We've still got 4 good engines on the core stage. Next up, we'll be looking for the service module fairing to separate. This is 3 15 by 15 foot fairing panels, providing structural support, protecting the service module. Those will separate at about 3 minutes and 11 seconds into flight, and very shortly thereafter will be followed by the launch abort system separation. Just over 3 minutes into the flight of Artemis 1, now traveling over 4,060 miles per hour, 83 miles downrange.
So what
We
are they?
just had confirmation that the service module fairing has separated.
That was an interesting camera view, right? Like it was so far away, they were tracking it somehow. That like that
And
one
that
right
the
there.
launch abort
That's
system
interesting,
pyros
like how
have
they're
fired,
tracking that.
separating those from Orion as well. For future crew members.
Uh-oh. But what happened there?
We just heard the call for 3 engine press, meaning if SLS were to lose an engine at this point in the mission, we could still achieve a nominal mission. We would just have an extended main engine cutoff time. However, we still have 4 good engines,
Yeah, you're
all
right.
at maximum thrust right now, powering the first flight of Artemis at 5,200 miles per hour,
So
148 miles downrange.
Let me turn this down for a minute. I wonder where it is. So it probably lost a little bit of signal right there, and you probably couldn't get a signal. You know, obviously it was that rocket is so fast, and it left
We're
so
4 minutes
quickly.
and 16 seconds into the flight of
The
Artemis
normal cameras
1.
that they normally have that would
So
track that
far,
and like
we've
they
had
zoom
a
around.
clean
Nah, it's gone, man.
ascent.
It's good. Poof,
We
it's
saw
gone.
those solid rocket boosters jettison about 2 minutes and 11 seconds after liftoff. Shortly after, we had the
And I'm
service model
wondering when
bearing
I think at
panels
this point in time they're
bearings
probably
separate,
probably trying to
as well as the launch
reacquire
abort system. The launch abort system was
signal.
inert for this flight, except to perform this separation.
So it's still burning.
Those 4 core stage
right,
engines
at
will
this point.
continue to fire and power the flight of Artemis 1, now traveling over 6,800 miles per hour, 229 miles downrange.
It's interesting that they don't have any kind of
Booster flight controller reports that the engines are looking good.
Okay, so we don't have telemetry. They have telemetry,
Our
but
core stage main engine cutoff time
surprised
is
they
about 8 minutes and
normally
3
put
seconds.
telemetry
We
up on
are
the
now
screen
5
here, but
minutes and 11 seconds into the flight, 7,656 miles per hour.
man, how cool is this?
Again, 4 good core stage engines, those 4 RS-25 engines. The last time those core stage engines flew, they were taking space shuttles to orbit, and now with upgraded capabilities, they're launching the future of human spaceflight.
I was actually thinking about this tonight. Nobody was IRLing from Florida, bro.
5 minutes.
Man, if I would have done my
seconds into
vacation
the
a week
mission, we are
earlier, I
now
would have
traveling
driven down to Florida, bro,
8,800
and
miles
been,
per hour, 345
you know what I'm saying?
miles
Seriously,
downrange from the launch pad at Kennedy
nobody
Space
was
Center.
IRLing from there. Why? Why? Dude, seriously,
Again, we are
I don't understand.
anticipating core stage
And when
main
I got
engine
on Twitch,
cutoff at
nobody
about
was
8
even
minutes
doing what
and
I'm
3
doing. I'm like,
seconds.
fuck it, I'm
And
gonna do
about 10
something.
seconds later, we'll see core stage
Dude,
separation, at
fucking
which point
live.
Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will be flying
Why?
free.
I remember
Now
watching.
traveling over 10,000 miles per hour, 6 minutes and 15 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1, 427 miles downrange. Quiet here on the loops in Mission Control Houston. Teams continue to monitor this first flight.
And it's just really weird the timing of all this, right? We have all this stuff going over overseas.
About a minute and a half now until that core stage main engine cutoff time. Our 4 core stage engines continue to fire maximum thrust.
So this almost seems like the same thing we had back when we were battling the Russians, right? Like, hey, we're going back to the moon. We're putting a base up there, right? And all this crap with Ukraine's going on.
Coming up on 7 minutes since launch today, now traveling over 12,800 miles per hour, 563 miles downrange. Again, still quiet here in Mission Control Houston. As we prepare for main engine cutoff, the 4 RS-25 engines are beginning to throttle down.
So I know Australia has a lot of the signaling systems. Do they have their own? Does Australia have their own like space program? You know, like any kind of way. Just curious.
30 seconds now until core stage main engine cutoff. All 4 engines continue to throttle down.
How long is the main? So main engine
7
cutoff.
minutes 45 seconds into the flight, traveling over 16,000 miles per hour.
So we're 16,000 miles per hour. Have not even reached MECO yet, which is main engine
Continuing
cutoff.
to hear good calls here in Mission Control Houston. We're standing by for core stage main engine cutoff.
Okay, so this telemetry is not correct at the bottom here. So if she says we're just approaching this, telemetry is not correct. So we should approach MECO pretty quickly, I would guess.
And we have confirmation of core stage main engine cutoff.
Nice.
Orion is now in
nice.
orbit.
That's what I'm talking about.
The flight dynamics officer reports that we have
Hell yeah.
main engine cutoff.
Okay.
And we just heard the call for core stage separation. That means Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage are now flying free from the core stage of the Space Launch System.
Very
The
nice.
next milestone will be solar array deploy approximately 18 minutes after liftoff. But before Orion stretches its wings, let's check back in with our friends at Kennedy Space Center and hear all about what it was like to hear the rocket roar off the launch pad.
Let's listen to this
Megan
for a second.
Kayla, I've got to hear all about it.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to NASA's Kennedy Space Center, where we just watched Artemis 1 launch, our first step towards our next adventure into deep space. As Leah said, I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA astronaut Kayla Barron. And I'm kind of still giddy and speechless. I don't even know how to
Me
explain
too.
how I'm feeling right now.
I feel the same way. This is the first launch that I've been able to
I
watch in
know.
person, and I've got to say, it was incredible. It took my breath away, and I was tearing up. Just what an amazing accomplishment for this team, this international team, people who have been dedicating their careers to getting this rocket off the ground and taking the first step to getting a crew on that vehicle back to the moon. It was just incredible.
Yeah, this is a moment I think that we're
Now,
all
given
gonna
all this,
remember
right?
where we were when we saw this sort of thing, you know what I mean? And it was
Oh,
great to see,
cool.
again, when we entered into terminal count,
I don't even know how you would say
everybody
this.
started cheering, you know, coming out to get a
Could you be
really
the
good
first
view.
IRL in
Boy,
space?
I mean, it lit up the night sky, and it just shook everything around us. Did you feel that? Like, in my bones, I felt that.
Oh yeah, the cool thing is just kind of the delay.
Why not somehow?
Yes.
Somehow, some way, something in my brain says,
a little bit slower, and it was
yeah.
just amazing. The ground shook. We could hear
Maybe you could.
thrust pushing that rocket.
Somehow, some way.
8.8 million pounds of thrust.
Yes.
It's incredible. It was amazing to see here live in person.
How does it compare? So this is your first launch on the ground. How does it compare to your launch when you're in the capsule soaring towards space?
Well,
I mean,
you got a family and stuff.
Equally
Me?
emotional, I think.
Alright.
We
Hey, bro.
for everything.
Hey, no worries.
We're in that
I don't.
capsule waiting for launch.
I don't have like other than my mom. I don't have anything that would tie me here.
Say that we're in the simulator and it's real, but like in that moment of liftoff,
I'd go.
Like we saw it today.
On.
It's just hard not to be overwhelmed by the emotional experience, the excitement, the joy of that moment. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think we can't say it enough. This team really deserved this
Pretty
moment.
legit
They
stuff,
worked
man.
so
Like
hard.
really can't believe that we're going back to the moon and doing a 22.
I felt a sense of relief and
I
excitement
watched
for them,
the
and
launch
I
trajectory
think
that they
everybody
had.
here did. You know, we
It's a
really
little
wanted them to
unexpected.
succeed. We
It's a
really
little
wanted to
unexpected.
see the
So we're
launch
doing
today.
what?
And wow, I will
22.
never forget this.
What?
Me neither.
Almost
It was an
a
incredible
week and a half
experience to
around the
be
moon,
here
just
to see that
chilling.
happen.
Yeah, was there anything that was
Right.
particularly
So now,
surprising to you? Again, this is your
I guess
first
in the
launch,
capsule,
you
it's
know,
just like an
testing.
uncrewed
No, I think
capsule,
we
right?
also
So I
have
guess
an
they'll just have like the
explanation
loop
for our
of
launch. And so
Dark Side of the
I
Moon,
think one
like
thing
looping
you
in the
underestimate is
capsule
how much it
somehow.
lights up the night sky. We were
It's just
able
my
to
mind.
watch it
I don't know.
all the way through
I
the
would.
trajectory.
If I was programming like the stuff, I'd be like, okay, we're going Dark Side of the Moon like 20 freaking thousand times.
Amazing how much
Whatever.
you get to see the flight path when it's at night and sliding up the sky.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this, but we see the moon here, and the trajectory of the rocket looked like it was.
Yeah. Okay. So
You know what I mean? It was
I
like
often
so
thought, how much
beautiful.
would I pay
So
if I had
beautiful.
enough
I'm so
money?
glad we
Like,
lived
right?
today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations to the
Oh
team.
yeah. Oh, dude.
Incredible.
I don't know.
I had
Like
worked at
before.
Google, who was at the
Dude, I'm
launch
sure this is all
and
like
about
NASA. If you
how
watch the
they
restream of
did
this,
that,
dude, I watched like 2 hours before
saw
this. They had all the dummies
what
there
they
and all
did
this stuff. They're going to around the moon.
launch
They're going to
that,
test all this stuff. Right?
was
I don't even.
amazing.
They probably won't even tell you how much stuff they're going to
Well,
test
maybe
because they probably don't want
it was something else.
certain people to know, right? So a lot of it's a secret. Absolutely, they need data. That they need so much data that they've never had before. Right?
Hard work and preparation to get to this moment.
I'm glad we've come to this point. Maybe this is what the planet needs to have, right? So we can calm ourselves. Oh, here we go. Let's see what she says.
Here in the room. Can you guys hear me? No.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Thought she was going to give us an update. Possibly. Check. Testicles 1, 2, 3. Testicles 1, 2, 3. Oh, by the way, I have to have something to ask you. Rhodes microphones. While she's getting her testicles in her mouth. The Rhodes microphones. I have a stream up there. I don't know if you watch it or whatever. My Rhodes microphone, the same one that you have, was going mute on me. I only have one microphone. It's only one TX and RX, right? For whatever reason, in that one stream, and it's up there, I think, right now. For whatever reason, that microphone was dropping out. I have no idea what was going on with that, but it was going to sleep almost. And I was like, what the F was that?
He's here.
Can you
Associate
guys hear me?
Administrator Pam Melroy.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Is he ready for me? Well, for once, I might be speechless. So you guys know I have talked a lot about appreciating the moment that you're in. And we have worked hard as a team. You guys have worked hard as a team for this moment.
This
all. Is your moment. It is not by chance that you are here today. So I want you to look around at this team and know that you have earned it. You have earned your place in the room. You have earned this moment. You have earned your place in history. You were part of a first. Doesn't come along very often. Once in a career, maybe. But we are all part of something incredibly special, the first launch of Artemis. The first step in returning our country to the moon and on to Mars.
Want to go Mars?
What
you
want
to
to
go Mars? Nah, you say
what
want to go Mars.
you've
I'll
done
go to Mars.
today will inspire generations to come.
I'm too old to go to Mars.
So
They won't let me go.
Thank you for your resilience. You know, I said at the pre-test briefing, the harder the climb, the better the view. We showed the Space Coast tonight. What a beautiful view it is. So congratulations. So we got a couple of traditions here in launch control. And the first one is when you're in the position for the first time,
Where's her
you
vest?
get a tie cutting.
Oh, yeah, but where's her? She should have a vest and a tie cutting, correct? You're going to cut her own tie.
Scissors. And I'm going to get my tie cut by a couple of legends that are here.
Very nice.
And then
this is that
anyone
unique
who wants their
tradition.
tie cut will be making the rounds in the firing room.
Very
you got
nice.
Your console chiefs, if they want to do it, that's fine. If you want me to
cool
do it,
as
you might have to wait a
really?
little while, but I'll
This is a
stay
tradition
all
we've never
night
seen
if I
before.
have to. It'll be my pleasure to cut ties. So I'm going to take care of mine, and then I have one other presentation that I want to make this evening.
So while she's doing her thing, so what was happening? I don't know. I'm not going to keep it up there very long because honestly, let me say something, dude. I totally respect what you're doing there. Let me tell you, for certain reasons, you don't leave stuff up there. You don't leave anything up there. It's like if you don't see it, you don't get it. Totally respectful, absolutely respectful for that deal. Absolute respect for that aspect of what you do. And the only times you ever put your stuff out there is
This is Charlie Blackwell Thompson, Artemis 1 launch director. She just got her tie cut. That is a tradition here at NASA. We just got to hear her talk to the team, and one thing that really stuck out to me that she said is that they've really earned their place in history. We're coming up on solar array deploy. Let's go on to Leah.
Thanks, Megan. And yes, we're here in Mission Control Houston, still monitoring the Artemis
all right.
mission.
We'll wind this down, right? So I'll say shout outs again.
System. So far, we saw successful liftoff at 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time, all the way through separation from the core stage. We now have Orion,
I had my problems during my stream. The main problem I have, once again, was the roads. And Spud was in there, and he was like, I've never seen that problem before, and I had to go through cycle it on and off, and I never could figure out why it was going on. It's one transmitter and one TX, right? Did I have the auto dimming off? Yes. So it saved a little battery power, which shouldn't be a big deal anyways. I have power there, whatever. So that was the only thing that would ever have caused that thing to really cause a problem with the thing. Like, it almost like it was going mute or going to sleep. So I ended up turning the auto dimming off, and even after that, it went to sleep. And then what was weird about the whole deal was, if you watch the VOD, was after about an hour and a half of that, it never went to sleep. Me and Spud could never figure. I to this day can never figure out what the hell happened to that microphone. I don't know if I have a bad unit. I don't know. I don't know. It was, and it wasn't a good day for me to be out there. But I tell you what, it was a good day for me to test the roads against the wind like you have, okay, and like your voice, dude. When it works right, that road is legit. Because you can be out like that shore that I was out there on. You can be out there on that shore, and that waves are coming over, and they can hear you perfect. I didn't do the best placement on the camera. It's a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you put the camera, if you're on the shore, if you're on a kayak, that's one thing, but all that stuff, but whatever. Learn in progress. Now, I did have somebody that told me this. Now, interesting, I don't even know if you're still watching, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe you'll watch it later. Ads. Here's the battle with all this IRL shit with me. And I'm sure you're the same way. Don't get me wrong. I want to recoup some money. But here's the problem I have with recouping money. Number one, I don't want ads on my shit. When I watch other IRL people, I gotta watch a 2.5-minute ad to get into their effing channel. F that. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Okay? So what does it take to get paid without having ads on your crap? Tips only, I would guess, and sponsors, right? I would guess. Does that limit you? I don't care. I don't care. I'm out there. I'm not out here to make money. And that's it.
Solar arrays or ROSAs on Gateway will generate 60 kilowatts of power. That ROSA design is currently being tested aboard the space station. We have 2 new ones installed and a spacewalk conducted earlier.
That's how I do have one funny clip though.
Another set. Coming up on 22 minutes since liftoff today, Orion.
It's nice to have other people clipping for you.
Traveling over 16,800 miles per hour. The solar arrays deploying now are part of the European service module. It's comprised of 20,000 parts and components. The service module was developed as part of an agreement between NASA and the European Space Agency, or ESA.
No, you're good, man.
This is the first time NASA is using a European-built system as
shit. I need some coffee.
To power an American spacecraft.
What kind of coffee do you like? Like, what's popular in Australia? Like, I don't even have a clue. No, so I'm gonna play a clip. I haven't. So what I was telling you, I don't know if you heard me. I have totally respect for you because you don't leave a trace. Now, I don't know if you have a YouTube or whatever, but you don't leave a trace, right? So the coolest thing that I ever thought was all these effers want to like leave a trace. I really don't want to leave a trace. What I want to do is do what you're doing. And if you don't see the mother effer, don't see it. Don't see it, right? Somehow. Only thing I get really good here is I don't know if they have it. I'm sure Starbucks, right? So K-Cup sold.
Coming up now and 24 minutes into the flight of Artemis 1, spacecraft now traveling at 16,500 miles per hour around the Earth. We are in solar array deploy, and we have confirmation all 4 arrays are deployed.
Nice. Hell yeah. Oh, dude, we're making progress here. We're already, what, 30 minutes in, and they already have the solar arrays deployed and all that crap. Oh, man. Bless. You know? Bless. I really couldn't believe that we're going to do this.
30 minutes is the perigee raise maneuver.
Okay, so one thing I put up here before. So, all this apogee, perigee, and all this stuff. So, I played a game before. I'm going to put it over here one more time. It's not even a game, right? It's like a weird stimulation, right? So, it's Orbiter 2016. This is a really weird simulation. If you're into like math, right? You have to live like if you're gonna play this flight sim and all that stuff, like driving games is one thing. If you want to be a rocket scientist or pretend you're gonna be like a rocket scientist, this one right here is what you want. Okay, make that link right there. Orbiter, Medphase, UCL. Now, it looks like it's from the UK, and it probably is. Anyway, if you download that right there and try to attempt all the lunar orbit and all this stuff, oh my God. Seriously, you'll do... You'll be a rocket scientist. If you learn what that you have to do to like take the Delta glider off and like get it in lunar orbit, and they have the ISS up now, oh man, you will learn stuff that you've never learned before.
We have a complete deployment of all
It's
4
difficult.
solar arrays.
But it's challenging, and I like challenges. I've gotten pretty far through it.
To that perigee raise maneuver, that'll be coming up.
It is.
Again,
it's all
about
numbers.
53 minutes
It's all math.
into the mission, so
just like music.
About 27 minutes from now. During the perigee raise maneuver, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will use its RL-10 engine to lift the lowest point of Orion in Earth's orbit. The current orbit
so I was going to ask you,
than a perfect circle, and this burn will raise that point.
I had a pretty good three-hour deal. I had quite a few. Spud came in, Spud Wagon.
And any adjustments to the solar
he stayed
arrays.
quite a while, actually.
Less than 30 seconds long.
I had some people here from the United States that came in.
And it also
number one problem was I had a few dropouts, but at 3 hours worth, man, it wasn't really that big a deal. I mean, you have to look at your percentages. Like if I drop out for like, I don't know. If I drop out and little haze on the bottom for like 2 or 3 seconds, right? Okay. If I'm doing a 3 freaking hour stream, are you gonna dog me? I guess some people will, huh? If you don't have a perfect stream, you know what? FF, how many times have you had a perfect stream, bro? Seriously. Come on, man. Like, if you look at all of your statistics, how many times have you had a perfect stream? No dropouts, no bitrate loss, nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, even if you had a U live with like, I don't know, let's say we have to like, I don't know, massive setup. Nobody's gonna be super perfect. That's what I like about this whole thing. In a weird way, that's what, once again, it's what makes all this challenge just F, right? Just like when I went out there that day. I had all these kind of problems, and I'm like, you know what? It was a windy day. I didn't expect to catch anything anyway. Honestly, I really didn't. I was like, F it, I'm going to the fucking lake, and I'm going to just do whatever. So, I was like, I'm just going to get out there and set my shit up. See if I can do what you do. It was challenging, like a lie. It's a bunch of crap. No, your stuff's probably like, I don't know how your stuff's set up, but I'm like, if I'm on shore, just like you are, that last time you did it, I'm like, pack up all the make sure all the batteries are fucking. It's like, it's not that easy. I gotta charge all the shit the night before. Make sure the IP address doesn't change. Checklist for all that. Make sure dude, trust me. I've thought about the differences between home streaming and IRL. 4 times harder. Okay? 4 times harder. You got to charge. You got to do at least the night before planning. Charge all your crap. Make sure your checklist. You got OBS run. That's, dude, seriously. I mean, so the appreciation of IRL, nah. I don't know. I don't know how you get the. I don't know how you get the appreciation for IRL. I don't think you ever will. I don't think you and I will ever be the Doctor or Shroud or all those people like Summit 1G. I can look right here. Right here. Right. The Summit 1G. All these people, right? We'll never be that. But we don't want to be that either. We just want to be us. Where do we niche out our stuff? I think what it boils down to is this weekend I'm going to go to the kayak. There's a kayak thing that's happening this weekend. It's going to be the fishing tournament for all the kayaks here in Dallas. I'm going to give it those guys. Okay. Between like me and you, like we're niching, right? It's a slight niche. If you don't niche yourself, unless you're someone when you're Dr. Dickhead, you're not going to niche yourself out, right? IRL is so small that it has room to expand, but is not sitting there. Okay. I'm going to play you something. Okay. Because I've done a little bit more thought process, okay, than you. Okay. I'm gonna put a, let me see if I got a I'm gonna actually do that one. Let's see if I can bring this. I actually have started creating my own commercials. I started with one. I started with one commercial, my own commercial. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 53. There was a program here called Saturday Night Live. Okay. It was live. We're going to do it fucking live. Okay. And they did it live, supposedly. And in the creation of that channel, as you very well know, back in the day, not the new one, but the back in the day, they created their own commercials. Okay. See if I can find this commercial and I will play it for you. I created my own commercial. It's goofy as hell, dude. Seriously. Who cares? You know, I think half the battle, all this stuff is to create your own content like you have. But in the middle of these things, like when we have these dropouts and everything, put these fake ass commercials. You, dude, seriously, just let me see if I can find the one I'm looking for here. It's someplace deep in my, in fact, it might be in the external that I don't have hooked up right now. But let me see if I can find it. To put content that is your own in there doesn't necessarily have to be no, it's not that much work. Actually, here. I would agree with that. So I would agree with that into a certain extent that if you make it more like real TV, right? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find my commercial here. I'm trying to dig through my, and like I said, it might be on my external. So real TV. So like, let's say we have a dropout, right? We have drop, both of us. I just got my loopies, right? I'm good with dropout now. So when the SRT drops out, instead of playing clips, play your commercials. Okay. I'm going to try to, once again, let me find, I may have to hook my external to play this one, but I'm going to show you one that I created. And it's, dude, it's so silly that you're going to laugh when you see it. But these little stupid things, like, not even the games and all that stuff, like when I watched your content of that one day you couldn't stream, right? I realized the package you put in. You don't show your best stuff until you need to. Just like a poker hand. You don't show your best stuff, bro. You don't. And dude, I was so like, that's where the respect came. I was like, oh man, this guy's got I don't know how long it took you to realize that you needed to do that. Maybe you don't even realize that you needed to do that. But to hold your best hand back to when you really need to play the flush card, okay? Legit respect right there, bro. Seriously. Okay. I can find this freaking commercial. Okay. I'll send you some extra links back in the day of some music stuff that I've done. If you ever need any music, I will say this: if you ever need any like music, holler at me. I've played music for 30 years and I've got all kinds of crazy shit. But I was trying to find. I may have to plug in my external. I think. Probably gonna have to.
They're nodding along behind you, for sure. Anything you want to say to the launch team? Again, this is a big day for the launch team, for you guys, NASA, but really the whole world. I mean, this is a historic launch that I think we'll all remember. Really.
You know, we had a lot of people here helping us out, a lot of teams, firing room. I'm sure that was hectic.
While I'm searching.
And, you know, NASA, Boeing, all the other companies did a great job, and we're glad to be part of it.
One thing I always like to say is spaceflight is a team sport, and I think you guys perfectly demonstrated that today, right? Like, none of us could accomplish this on our own. It takes a really complex team. Nobody can be an expert in all of the systems, all the technology, all the workarounds we might have to do to get a rocket off the pad. So thank you for the role you played in that team today. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Where is
Yeah,
that
thank you so
commercial
much,
at?
guys. I really appreciate you coming by to talk with us. All right,
Split
it's
out
now been about
someplace.
35 minutes since liftoff of Artemis 1. Orion and ICPS are now free flying, so let's head back to Leah again to talk about how the journey is going so far.
Thanks, Megan. And it has been a pretty smooth ride so far. And we are now, again, like you mentioned, coming up on 36 minutes since launch. That puts us about 17 minutes into the until the perigee raise maneuver. That's going to be the maneuver that lifts the lowest point of Orion's orbit around the Earth and puts us where we need to be ahead of the translunar injection burn. The translunar injection burn is that really long burn that we're going to need to send us on to the moon. So we've been treated to some exciting views from the spacecraft today, including, and we hope to see
I will find that commercial, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Actually, let me look at something. I bet it's on my YouTube page. I don't post my YouTube page. I don't.
Receiving photo updates
I don't use it for.
It takes a team, though, to bring the imagery of Orion down to Earth. So let's meet them.
I don't even know what the hell I'm using it for.
The imagery that we're collecting on Artemis 1
fact
and
the matter
the mission
is
itself is preparing to carry humans.
I don't really understand how to assemble all these social things together. I don't necessarily know that I care. I don't necessarily know that I want to like be an influencer and all this, but really, really what I want to do is like what you do. I want to go out there and have a effing good time, and that's I want to stream it. If I get some money off of it,
because we have to fit it into a thinner pipe, if you will.
Whatever.
Every one of these cameras is in its position where it is, and it's configured the way it is for a very specific reason.
People saying you need to recoup your cost or whatever. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do that? How the hell am I going to recoup all this cost? It's not going to freaking happen.
Very highly trained, very specialized people.
So if you don't do it for love, you don't do it for anything, right?
If we can see it, we're going to try and keep an eye on it. Imagery has been invaluable throughout the history of NASA. We flew cameras on Mercury, Gemini, Apollo,
hidden
all of
here
that stuff that we
somewhere.
saw with the astronauts around the moon.
But I'll post it up there on the YouTube video.
I'll send it to you. It allows us to see things that we didn't anticipate happening before. So when we do fly people on Artemis 2, we can have a high confidence that everything is working.
Couple videos up there.
I love getting a look at those teams that we don't normally see, like the red team that Megan and Kayla just got to interview.
I don't know. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Liftoff happened tonight.
I kind of keep stuff like hidden like you do. You know what I'm saying?
At KSC. Again, we're about 15 minutes away from perigee raise maneuver.
Thank you, Leah. Yeah, we wanted to take us back into.
Well, how in the hell am I going to do that when I have a full-time job?
That's being enabled by Artemis 1 today. So inside of Orion are 10 of these. So they're called CubeSats because they're tiny satellites. Essentially, they're the size of the shoebox when they're folded down, but But then once they're deployed, they're
I mean, don't get me wrong.
solar array, things like that. That's when it gets a lot bigger. Now, these are called secondary payloads for this mission. Kayla, can you talk to us about what
I would like to think that I would like to be able to recover some
It really
money
means that it's not
from
a
this, right?
primary objective of
And
the mission. It's not, we're
have
not
an
relying
old
on the
school
success of these
friend
sets
that
for the
watches a
overall
lot of
mission
streaming,
success.
right?
It's kind of a bonus payload, right? A chance to deploy these satellites that have different sensors.
She watches a lot of streaming or whatever. And she's like, well, you need, at least if you're not going to do anything else, just put a subscription box up, right? Just put it where they can at least sub and tip. If you're not going to try to do, because honestly, bro, here's what I have to say. Ads. Okay. Once you become affiliate, somebody wants to put fucking ads up there on your shit. I don't want ads on my stuff, bro. Seriously. Yeah, that's all it is. It's gonna be a hobby, bro. Seriously. No, I think there's a place to grow this. I honestly, and I think you're the same mindset, I think there's a place to grow IRL past just chatting and past the games. I really do. I really do. I don't think it's as, I don't think IRL, I don't want to run the ads either, bro. Seriously, like, that will kill the fucking stream, and nobody's gonna want to watch. I don't want to, when I click on your channel, I don't want to watch 2.5 minutes worth of ads, or at least 2 minutes worth of ads. Like, okay, I'm done with you. You know? So, no ads.
I'll tell you what I'm saying in a second. I finally got the freaking thing.
Why am I?
All right, I got some fish down there.
I mean, it's not like I don't have good footage, you know, like just chilling or whatever.
9 feet.
It's just that I don't want to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't see it live, I don't want to put it out there. I have good footage of this and that. It's like, if I didn't freaking live, I'm not gonna freaking do it, right? I'm not gonna run ads. I'm gonna do exactly what your model is. If you didn't freaking see it live, you're not gonna see it. And I'm not gonna play the highlights until I get in a pinch, yo.
The level
Seriously.
of ionizing radiation that you experience when you go beyond the Van Allen belt. So you go beyond the protective magnetic sphere that we
Really?
have around
And
us. You
what?
then get
Like,
exposed to high
okay,
levels
so
of ionization.
money's one thing, but what about
We are
sponsors?
flying
Like, right?
several space biology experiments.
What's the difference between what would be a sellout or a sponsor? And how the hell did you make over 4,000 a month streaming? Just out of curiosity.
This
I don't.
research
I mean, I
will
don't.
help us thrive
Honestly,
in
dude,
space. It will help
I don't
us
necessarily. I
go
want to
further
understand it,
and stay there
because
longer.
then I have to be another mindset, like in a way. I'd rather. Even if I want somebody handling that for me, bro. Seriously.
Lockheed Martin
I really just want to
for NASA.
do it as long as I
And we'll
can.
be flying a secondary payload that's a demonstration payload called Callisto. So we took the technology from Amazon for Alexa and the WebEx technology from
Flow.
Cisco.
It's called
and
Flow.
So we built
Like-
a digital assistant, if you will.
Okay.
System
Well,
based
okay.
off by
Okay.
Alexa.
I wouldn't question it either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand how all that works. And
And so this
man,
payload
it's,
is the demonstration mission to show how
I'm
astronauts
not a
in
very
space
good
could use this
person
technology
to
as an innovative
capture social media.
user interface.
You know, I mean, well, I should be by this time.
I'm just
But man,
over the moon excited for the Artemis 1 launch.
The science will conduct on Artemis 1.
well,
lays the groundwork to
you're not
ensure
talking
that
about.
we
You're talking about
consistently conduct
your.
scientific
You're not talking about
activities
your
that
Amazon
our
wish list.
astronauts
You're talking about just
explore.
random people,
This really
correct?
is the stepping
Just
stone
like
for us
random,
as we take that next giant leap in space
whatever.
exploration.
Like you're not talking about your like Amazon wish list, right?
So a lot of great science also happening on the International Space Station. I got to speak with and Samantha Cristoforetti while they were still on board about the research there that will benefit future
I was
Artemis
trying to
missions.
find that
Jessica,
fucking commercial
Samantha,
I
your
did.
primary job on the space station
Where
is
it's
to maintain
a
the
funny
open
ass
lab
commercial, man.
and
If I can find it,
conduct
I did it
science
one off.
experiments more than
In fact, what I did it
200
for
before
was
crew
I was
4
actually
returns
streaming
home. Jessica, can
Call
you
of the
tell us
Wild
about
Hunter
one
one
of the
time. So I was like,
experiments that
okay,
will help return us to
kind of
the
same thing. I
moon
was like,
with
let
the
me
Artemis
do
program?
a
We do a lot of experiments
do a
where we are
weird
looking into
commercial
developing new
just because I'm into that
technologies
kind of
that
stuff,
will
right? Like be a little
enable
different.
us to go
And I was like,
further
let me
into
do
the solar
a
system.
commercial. I still
And
can't
one of
think
those
of anything. I'm gonna
technologies
find here.
was the
And when I do,
astrorad.
but I could probably
Experimental
do
radiation
a
is
lot of
one of the
commercials,
challenges
really.
that we face when we think about going further into the solar system. And so this vest is an option for providing the crew
I want
member
free
with
stuff.
protection. And then one of the mannequins
Not
on
gonna lie.
Artemis 1 launching here later this month will also be wearing the vest. We'll get a sense
Oh
for
yeah, I don't know.
its
Like
effectiveness
history
on board
wise,
as well.
I'll just
So
show you a
Natha, I
quick
know
history, right? So as far as my history, I don't know. I can post a bunch of stuff out there, man. I don't know. What kind of honestly, before I post this, what kind of music are you into? Before I like go crazy and just show you something cool. I don't even know what kind of music you're into. So my whole history is I played in a band for 30 years. A lot of politics in between all that stuff, just like the streaming stuff. And I'm like, he's still a cool dude with me, my bro, but I don't know.
that you've been doing a lot of work to test
Gonna be
how
mad
you
if
would
I
grow
can't
crops
find
in
that
space.
effing
What
commercial.
crops are you growing on space station right now, and what's unique about them?
Indeed. Actually, right next to us as we are talking to you, we have a little space station vegetable garden. It's called X-Root, and in a few weeks it will be full of fully grown, hopefully tomatoes and carrot plants. I don't have much of a green thumb,
How cool
I
is
must
that?
confess, but
So,
I harvested those plants and I could
how do
really
plants
breathe
know
in all
gravity
that
wise?
smell. Even if there
In
is no
fact,
soil,
interesting
it still has
because
that smell that you would associate on the ground with
if you have
walking,
gravity not
through a
affecting
vegetable
the
garden
fruit,
after a
it seems
rainy
like it
day,
grow
when there
larger
is that
because
moisture in the air,
you don't have that
and that
weight
was just
hanging
so
down.
so
But I don't know about
pleasant
that.
after such a long time living away from any kind of natural environment. It was very, very pleasant for me.
If it makes you feel any better, I also do not have a green thumb. So what about water? How are you testing critical
All right,
life support
quick
systems like
old
water
school history on
to
me.
hopefully
Let's
help
see
us
here.
stay off Earth
I'll
longer
play
than
you
we ever have before?
a
Sure,
quick
yes.
song
So
or whatever.
we kind of use the
Here, we'll
tag.
pause this and I'll just put this one up there for you. You can watch this. Quick history. Played a lot of music back in my life. Was a lot fatter back in my life. Stuff like this. Yeah, stuff like that, you know. That's my old persona, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Line that
Yeah.
yesterday's coffee becomes today's coffee.
But I
So
have a
there's
lot of music, bro.
process
Seriously,
by
I have a
which we
lot
can,
of music.
filter our urine.
So if you ever need anything for like covers or whatever, don't hesitate to holler.
Recycle about 96% of the essentially of our water on board, and are continuing to test new technologies to get even
Well,
closer to
that's pretty interesting because
98% utilization rate
I live in an apartment, right? So
for the moon in
I'm a huge gardener.
Samantha, what are you most excited about?
This year I
for
didn't
Artemis
do a
1?
garden
Seeing
because
that
there was a lot of
gigantic
construction going
rocket
on.
take off.
Usually
And
I have a
I think
flat
it
that's
will be
pretty.
just,
It's 2-bedroom flats. I don't know,
a
1,100 square
sign
feet.
of
My
all these great things to come.
patio is very small,
Jessica, you could one day walk on the moon
but I
as
love to
part of
cook.
the Artemis
I need my
program. How
dill
does that make
for
you
fish.
feel?
Just saying, that's my number one. Cilantro, basil, Thai basil, sweet basil. I need my chives. I need all this stuff, right? It's very difficult to raise anything in an apartment. However,
Jessica, Samantha, thank you so much. And before you go, I'd love to see a
you'd have to see my Instagram, same as my name here. Okay, and dude, I had romaine lettuce, I had iceberg, dude, I had freaking everything. Seriously. And I'm like, oh my God, like you can actually maintain a certain amount of garden in an apartment, even in a small flat. You can do that. I did it.
It's incredible to be a part of every
You
single
can do that.
experiment. It's an
It's
honor
not
to
that
play
big.
a small
So
role in it.
sustain yourself, absolutely. You can do that any place. Like even in a small thing, like even I don't know where you live, if you're in an apartment or whatever. dude, you
me
can still do
doing the
your
first
own
scanning
stuff,
electron
even in a small
microscope
thing, even like in maybe an
samples and on
aeroponic
the
garden,
International
whatever, to
Space Station.
sustain
And it was cool for me because I
stuff
worked
during
with
the
a
winter.
scanning electron
Oh man,
microscope in my graduate school research.
my
that
Instagram
took up like it was
has
as big as this
a
desk.
very
I'll see a
large garden
miniaturized
on
version
the. In
of
fact,
those
at
that
some
we
point in
have
time, I
up
put
there.
a
And
light out there so I could go a
imagining
little
how
bit
we can use
longer
it in a
during this,
lunar or
like
Martian laboratory
during
to
the
better
spring when it's a
analyze
little bit
signals and decide
colder,
what to bring
light
home
on,
is really
you
exciting.
know,
Yeah.
and
And you
during the
touched on this
fall
earlier before, but
to
I do
extend the
think it's
harvest
just
a
so
little bit.
important to note
Oh man,
again that you're
I
doing
had so much stuff I
science
was giving
for
away stuff.
scientists who've
Seriously,
been working
that's my
on
deal. Honestly,
their
I would like to
studies
have
for
about 10
decades, some of
acres
them. So to
here in Texas
fulfill that,
someplace.
how
I'm
does that
looking at
make you
East
feel?
Texas.
It's
Have about 10
incredible. We're
acres.
almost like
Do a
their
little gardening.
laboratory technicians for this little
Man,
moment in time.
put a
You
little
know,
pond
they've
out
been
there.
working
Do some deer hunting,
their
whatever.
entire
You know,
life, sometimes
it's
decades,
got so
years, to
expensive
get that
that.
science payload up there. And it's a really
In
unique
fact, I was
laboratory
really
environment.
mad.
The microgravity environment, the space environment, the research environment, like you heard talked about in those
This has
videos,
been the
it
first
provides
year
an opportunity to do science that we just can't do here on Earth.
that I've
Yeah,
not
and I
had
think
an
that
access
what
to a
we
deer
do on the
lease,
International
and I'm
Space
really mad
Station
about
can
that.
fuel future Artemis missions.
Things
I
have gone
think
away.
that
Family's
little
been
hand
all
in hand
freaky,
is really
whatever.
cool.
But usually I have
All right, so let's take
year-round
some
access
more
to a deer
social media
lease. Got
questions.
turkey
Social media
here.
is
I mean,
buzzing
sit up
right
there,
now since we
dove
launched
hunt,
about 48 minutes ago. So why don't we take the
whitetail
first
hunt,
question
turkey
and hear it
hunt.
again from actor.
Man,
Oh, no. Let's see.
what a
Kayla,
bummer.
how do you
That's what I
feel
was hoping
after
this year.
launch?
Opening season started November 5th. That's what I was launching all this stuff because I have a friend that has a lease up in Oklahoma. I was like, hey man, I'm getting all this IRL stuff
This
together.
is really the culmination of a giant team.
Just now getting it together and
Every
lost.
single member of
Didn't
our
lose
team
it,
to pull off a
but
successful
lost a lot
launch
of
is
time there.
incredibly complicated, incredibly
How
challenging.
long did it
and in
really
some cases
take you
kinda
to do your
dangerous for a
first,
large
like
team
when
who
you
decides to
assembled
go
all
out
your
into an
stuff?
area to make a
Because
fix
it
that
took
was
me
for
like what?
today's launch. And so
No,
to see
maybe
the team succeed
be
and feel that
successful at it.
excitement
What
was incredible.
I'm guessing
I really
to have a
still
normal
have,
stream, probably
from
gonna
Blackwell
be.
Thompson's words ringing in my head. The fact that she
Dude,
says
I'm
the
probably gonna be
harder
4
the
to 6
climb, the
months
better
into
the
it,
view.
really. Honestly, to
100%
get a
correct.
successful. Now I'm not talking about
All right, next question
successful stream
is
like you
from
have
actor
with all
Jack
the overlays,
Black. He
just to have a
starred
stream that
in a
looks
movie
good,
called,
right? Good
Apollo
sound, good
10
all
and a
that.
half. He has a question for Kayla.
Maybe not 4 months. Well, maybe 4 months with the weather we have here. But and then how long does it take to put all the other stuff together, i.e. the overlays and the donation boxes and the subs and actually the website stuff, what I would call the marketing stuff for the stream, right? That's a whole. And honestly, I don't know, bro. I don't necessarily know that I want to do that.
26-day
I don't
mission
know.
that we have planned
I
for
really don't.
Artemis, where it will go to the moon, go into a distant retrograde orbit, so we'll get a few close flybys and then some time in deep space past the moon. And then, yeah, that re-entry is going to be something else. It's going to be 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, super hot. And so we'll be looking at how the heat shield performs just to ensure
Okay,
that
so
we'll
the
be able to
interesting
protect
thing
the crew
about
for that
this
heat and
re-entry, the
temperature.
last one
half as hot
was, so
as
the
the
last
sun.
re-entry,
Yes,
if I
it's
remember correctly, was
incredibly hot.
14,000.
So
The
we rely on that
normal
heat shield to keep our systems and our crew safe.
spin
We expect that it'll perform
where you
well,
can
but
drop
we're
in is
excited to see how it does in
14,700
about 26 days.
miles per
Okay.
hour.
One
Right?
last question from social media.
So they're doubling because of the weight. They're
What
doubling
qualifications
the
are required to become an
entry
astronaut?
speed. So we're up to
You have to study
26,000
STEM,
miles
you have to
per
have a
hour now
master's
coming
degree
in,
or
which
higher in a STEM field, but besides that, we're looking for people who are awesome team players. So
I
there's a lot
actually
of different routes to
saw.
become
I
an
was in
astronaut.
Texas
We seem
when
to be getting a
Challenger
lot of
came over
questions about
and
how
burned up. I actually
people
saw
themselves can
Challenger
become
burn
astronauts. I think
up
that's really cool that we
over
might see and
Texas.
inspire again people who might think about becoming astronauts.
So let's hope
Absolutely.
that this one does
Okay,
do
well,
the same
thank you,
thing
Kayla, and
in
thank you for
21,
those who sent in those
25
questions.
days.
We are about 50 minutes after the launch of Artemis 1, and we are approaching the next critical milestone. That's perigee raise maneuver. So let's head back over to Leah in Mission Control.
Thanks, Megan. And you're right, we are coming up on perigee raise maneuver about 2 minutes from now. We are now 51 minutes into the flight of Artemis 1 after lifting off at 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time from Kennedy Space Center. The vehicle now
Does
travels
anybody?
over 14,600
I find it funny that there's
miles
no
per hour.
cameras on this
So
thing.
during Orion's
SpaceX
orbital
has
run, it
cameras.
reaches an
Dragon
apogee
has
in
cameras.
perigee. The apogee is the
Why
highest
are we
point
not seeing
above
any
Earth's
cameras
surface,
from
and the
NASA?
perigee is the lowest. Therefore,
Why?
this perigee raise maneuver is a firing of the ICPS
I
Well 10
am not
engine,
at
and
this
it's going
point
to
in
raise
time
the lowest
going
point
to
of
put a conspiracy theory out there, but why are we not seeing cameras from Artemis right now? As like, once again, why?
That's going to keep them
What are they hiding?
any loads imparted
Are we hiding anything? I mean, what's going on here?
later in the mission.
I just find that really funny. Normally we see separation. They put the camera up there, just like I've watched Dragon X and fucking all this stuff. It's like, why did we see all this stuff? What the hell's going on here? What's going on?
We're about 1 minute away from the perigee raise maneuver. This is a shorter burn. It's less than 30 seconds.
I hate to put that conspiracy. I really hate to put that conspiracy theory out there. But why? Why would they do that?
About 45 seconds until the perigee raise maneuver.
Oh. Don't know. It's pretty weird.
Coming up on 53 minutes into today's mission, and we are standing by for the start of the perigee raise maneuver. Again, this is a firing of the RL-10 engine on the interim cryogenic propulsion stage. It's less than 30 seconds long.
I just find it really funny that we have 0 cameras from there, right? We don't see anything that's going on here. We have an animation. What the hell?
And we have confirmation of perigee raise maneuver ignition and full thrust. This is a live view from the spacecraft. Again, a really short burn. We're standing by for the cutoff.
This is the live view. This is a live view. Get the hell out of here. What the hell are they trying to... This is a live view? I don't believe this crap. Does anybody... Really? Does anybody else think that was a live view?
Of perigee raise maneuver cutoff.
What the hell's going on here?
Flight Dynamics Officer reporting on the loops here at Mission Control Houston that it was a good burn. We are now 54 minutes into the flight, Orion traveling 14,700 miles per hour, and that was the perigee raise maneuver, lifting the lowest part of Orion's orbit around the Earth and putting us right where we want to be for the translunar injection burn. We're looking for that translunar injection burn to happen about 1 hour and 26 minutes after launch, so about...
Hey, what? If I was skeptical right now.
Helps us break free from the pull of Earth's gravity and commits the spacecraft to a lunar trajectory.
Well,
so with successful completion of the perigee raise maneuver, I'm going to toss it back to Megan at KSC.
Can I actually find the tracking on this thing? Like, is there any place they're actually putting the tracking out? Anywhere? No?
I hope you didn't miss it, but if you did, we have a quick replay of the launch here.
Sound suppressor water now flowing.
Man, I'm gonna pause this for like I'm just gonna pause their shit right here. Like I'm gonna close the stream down here in a minute. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here, but I'm gonna really hate to say this. What the hell? Why didn't we see the cameras that we normally would see with Dragon X and all that stuff? What the hell? I don't know. It is what it is, right? Like they probably know something I don't. Maybe they don't want to give like the footage away or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully it went away. Godspeed, as they showed us right here. All right. Well, hopefully it's exactly what they showed just there, and we're getting true telemetry, although we can't see it. And yeah, so Thunder, love you, bro. Catch you on the flip, mate. And we're gonna shut the stream down now. I feel good.
You definitely knew that there was some energy being expended over there.
I feel good that this is hopefully real. And
For a historic launch like this, we've been talking about the team it takes to get this done. How does it feel to be at the helm of that ship?
Well, I got to talk to the launch control.
Thanks for coming in, and we're gonna bail out of here tonight, and we're gonna catch you on the flip side. You know, hopefully we'll be doing something cool. It's pretty chilly here, but man, not gonna let it deter me. So.
This legacy is now taking us as we explore the heavens. And
God bless Artemis. God bless the launch if it's actually up there. And man,
we're going back, and
we'll catch up there.
A lot of what
Peace out.
We have to, and then we're going to
Peace
Mars
out.
with humans.
Why is it such a priority for the agency to land the first woman